All right, let's talk a bit about next generation hardware. Nothing really with games. I mean, these are game consoles, but maybe next month. That's what we say every single time, right? It's always next month. It's either going to be May or June. I mean, worst case scenario, it'll be around E3 time when we finally see some games. I'm hoping that Sony has their own event ready to go in May ahead of that. So we'll see with that. But one of the big questions has been, will Sony actually be ready to go holiday of 2020, especially with what's going in the world now that's kind of thrown a wrench in a lot of these plans, right? It was, to most of us, okay, this should be pretty straightforward to get these units manufactured for holiday time when they will sell pretty easily. I mean, most of the time, a press release goes out after 48 hours or so saying that they sold 1 million units in 24 hours. Even the Xbox One that did not do that well for Microsoft in the grand scheme of things, it did that. The PS4 did that as well. So as long as they can get to holiday with enough units, they should be fine. So looking at this, it does appear that Microsoft is setting some things in motion here. All right, now we've been trying to figure out what they're going to do with the Xbox One X, with the Xbox One S. Are they going to have those on shelves next to the series? You know, the Xbox Series X, the Xbox Series, we think, S. Are they going to have all these systems all over the place? Well, it looks like Microsoft might already be working to phase the Xbox One X out at retail. And I've kind of seen this happen before. I've seen this happen before with the PS4, the regular one, the original, and I've seen this happen before with the Xbox One VCR model, where those were slowly phased out because I remember handling some of the rebates from Microsoft for that at the different stores. So what I'm seeing here reminds me of that, and that was around the time that wholesalers were were not getting these in for like warehouse shipments or any of that. So what I think is happening right now is Microsoft is shifting production from the Xbox One X, at least just the X right now, probably the S pretty soon as well, to the Series X to get that going. And that at least signals that they have some confidence that it will be coming out in 2020, as they have been saying. So this was on Twitter from Matt Piscatella. Of course, in the MPD group, we look to him every month to see reports around how gaming is doing, specifically with retail stores and all of this. So he has knowledge of stocking and all of this. But Matt said the Xbox One X going on deal, so on sale basically everywhere, looks like a stock clear out, not expecting replenishment. And this happened, like I said, with the VCR and the original PS4, where we got word through our system from wholesalers that, hey, you are going to have rebates for whatever you have in stock now, but you are free to mark these down. Now, that was with Microsoft because they had price protection. Sony was not as good as Microsoft at the retail front. I will say that Microsoft had price protection on a lot of their stuff, their games, their systems. It was pretty easy to do that with them. Sony was weird. MLB The Show was the most frustrating game to keep in stock because there was no price protection on it. And as a sports title from Sony, if it dropped in price, that was it. You had to eat the cost, and that was not fun. So we'd always ever keep like 2, maybe 3 games, 3 MLB The Show copies in stock just in case they decide to drop it to $40 one day. But with the Xbox VCR model, for example, I'm trying to remember how much they had us mark it down. I want to say it was just straight up $100, but it might have been like $50. However, at that time, whatever we had in stock got marked down because they were not really producing them anymore, and they wanted to clear out so that that retail space could be filled with the Xbox One S and eventually the Xbox One X as well. So they told us, hey, mark it down $100. We will rebate you to your account. And to be honest, it's not like they handed us $100. They just put the credit into our wholesale account, and then we just turned around and bought a bunch of copies of whatever new game was coming out, like Dark Souls 3 maybe at the time. I'm trying to think. Grand Theft Auto 5 always sold, so we always kept copies of that in stock. But we would just turn around and buy other games with it. And after seeing this with the Xbox One X pretty much getting cycled out, which, by the way, if you go to Walmart or Best Buy, they're marked down like $100. They're just getting rid of these things now. It's $300 brand new, and that's not bad considering they were supposed to have an MSRP of $500, right? Yeah, we're kind of phasing these things out now, it seems, with production seemingly moving towards something else, and most of us believe that if the Xbox One X is getting phased out, maybe Microsoft is concerned about, okay, can we have an Xbox One X next to the Series X, or will that be confusing to consumers? Because I mean, let's be honest, that'll probably be confusing to consumers. Xbox One X, Xbox Series X, Xbox One S, Xbox Series S. Yeah, that can be kind of tough. Now, I don't really see the same thing happening with the Xbox One S right now. Like, it's not going on the same kind of deep discount that I'm seeing here. In fact, at some places, the Xbox One S and the X are the same $300 price, which is super weird, right? Because obviously, if you're going to buy one of them, you would just get the X. Even if you wanted like an ultra high def Blu-ray player, yeah, that's obviously you got the X, right? So I'm not really sure if they are moving like just production or manufacturing from the X for now, and then they'll do the S, because I figure they would start to get rid of those. Although the S, I'm sure, sells better than the X. The S all digital has actually been selling pretty well currently, which is interesting to see. That's pretty cheap though. Sometimes that'll go on sale for like $100 to $150. I've seen that happen, and it comes with games. So Microsoft could be looking at that and maybe saying, okay, we'll move to Lockhart as well at some point, but we have to introduce it and then see how all of that goes down as well. So right now, I think they are starting to shift production to the Series X, and that's a good sign for a 2020 launch. I think it's also a good sign for what will end up being in retail stores. I mean, it would have been strange, like I said, to have all of these different Xbox variants everywhere. I think it'll be much better if they can have a cheaper Xbox Series system and a more expensive one. So we have the Series S and the Series X, 300 and 500. I think that's their best bet. And I guess the good news is, for anyone who's bought any of those systems recently, Microsoft has said that they will continue to support the Xbox One S, the VCR, and the X for the next year and a half or so after release. A lot of cross-gen stuff from their first parties. So while they may not be selling the systems in stores, they appear to still be actually providing support for them and even games. So that's at least good news there. But yeah, it looks like the X is going to start disappearing in stores. I feel like the S will be next, and then we'll move towards, I think, a 2 SKU launch maybe this year. It's going to be tough because of manufacturing right now. Maybe they'll just pick the Series X for now, and then like towards the beginning half of next year, they'll start to introduce Lockhart, the cheaper model, the Series S, I guess. Maybe that's their strategy, or maybe they really will try to push towards having both ready to go this holiday. That would be something to see. Let me know what you guys think about this down below, with the Xbox One X seemingly going out of manufacturing, out of print, I guess they'd say, for being on store shelves. And if you're looking at buying one, honestly, it might be worth holding off now towards the holidays. Even at $300, that's pretty good, but save up what I think will end up being an extra $200, and you get a much better system that's fully backwards compatible with Xbox One games, and obviously before that even. Thanks guys for watching. Make sure you like the video on the way out if you enjoyed it. Dislike it if not, and I'll see you next time.